So this week was kind of an interesting week. I got out and about, I did a few things. I really wanted to get this finished. Obviously it didn't happen, so you're here finishing it with me. But I also ran into some creative project problems. So let's talk about it. So first and foremost, my video from last week. The video was one I was really proud of. I had kind of played creativity project roulette, and I had pulled this vintage project from this collection of vintage project cards that I have, and it was all about making 70s jewelry, so very much a DIY jewelry thing. I had gone to a very cool independent art supply shop. I'd gone to the beach to collect supplies. I had done all sorts of things, and I was really proud of the video, and I'd worked hard on it, and it was a good one. I thought it was a good one. YouTube, however, had so many problems uploading it that not only did it go out late, when it finally went out, it would only go out in really, really, really poor quality. So it looks awful. No one's watched it. That's fine. It still lives up there. But it really sort of, I let it diminish some of the joy I'd had making those projects, which is silly. But it did, and I was really frustrated. So because of that, I was feeling like I didn't want to do anything this week. I didn't want to do any creative projects. I was sort of like throwing a bit of a temper tantrum. So I decided I needed to go out. I needed to maybe not sit and do a thing, but I needed to go kind of inspire myself and go just take on some new creative energy. So I started by going to the thrift store. I'm going to do a little bit of traveling this summer, and honestly, because I live in San Francisco and it never gets truly, truly hot, I don't have a ton of like cotton summer wear, so I went and thrifted some. Now, that was a good thrift trip, and there's some good gems in there, but the bulk of them need to be mended, dyed, fixed, upcycled. Something needs to occur with them. So that turns out, I'm not going to show you anything today. I know, sad, but it is going to be its own video. I'll show you sort of some of the things I may or may not have picked up, but it's going to need to be its own video while I do all of those mending projects. And then I went to the museum. Had a lovely little afternoon. I'll show you sort of what the exhibit I saw was all about. It was great. I'm really glad that I went. It was a nice long sort of lunch that I took. Had a great little afternoon. Came back. Was, you know, again, a bit energized. And I thought then, I was feeling better about creativity. I thought I'd get this puppy finished. This thing is it's called the Quick Point, and it's taking so much longer than I expected it would. I'm still really enjoying it. It feels like a rug. It's really cool. Come to find out, there are absolutely no instructions, absolutely zero instructions on how to actually turn this into a pillow or a seat seat cushion cover. All explained in the last video. I have to figure out how to sew this thing together. I think I'm just gonna be doing it by hand, but I don't have a curved needle. I'm not sure if it would be better if I tried to put this in the machine, but this seems really thick, so I don't know. There's still some things to figure out with that. So while yes, I had a great, time kind of doing this, I then got equally frustrated because I wasn't finishing it. So I also took myself to the park this week. I decided that I just needed some sunshine. I needed to get out and touch some grass, as they say. So I grabbed a sandwich from my little local mom and pop deli. I grabbed a creativity book that I'm working my way through, and I went and just spent a lunch at the park, really just letting myself be creative, not stressing about the outcome of things, because I think that's what keeps getting me in trouble this week. So, all that to say, I have a little bit of a kind of out and about vlog for you today, and I hope you enjoy it. So for this outing, I took myself to what used to be my absolute favorite hidden gem of a Goodwill for the fact that they'd had an entire back room of vintage, and it was really sizable and you could always find amazing gems. However, it was now gone. Was pleasantly surprised to see that they replaced it by actually making an extra large / plus size section, where I was able to find this 100% silk 80s beauty. Not very much my aesthetic. I know someone was going to be incredibly excited to find this. So there were vintage pieces mixed in and around and here and there, but the big vintage room was gone. I also found this amazing 70s robe from Vanity Fair. Great brand. Love them. So again, this is all plus size section, which was pretty cool to see, honestly. Strolling through the tops for, typical workout wear. Nothing too spectacular here. Again, I did find some really amazing pieces. I did not take Snoopy home with me, but I did find this gorgeous cottagecore sweater vest of someone's dreams. Again, not my look, but someone's going to be so excited to find this. The wardrobe builder, I thought this was such a great idea. It was all, making a capsule wardrobe back in the 60s, 70s. Didn't take that home, but you can see my cart there, pretty full. Also something I did not take home, but I know someone's going to be really excited to find this parrot buddy. Now this exhibit was really fun. It was the photos of Paul McCartney. So if you're even remotely a Beatles fan, it sort of told their entire story through photos that he took on their kind of first American tour. Basically, the entire crowd was made up of older women, probably in about their 70s. They were so excited to be there. Everyone was absolutely loving it. It really was a great exhibit. I highly recommend it. If you're into photography, if you're into the Beatles, head on over to the DeYoung Museum in San Francisco to check that out. Another exhibit they've got going on right now is their annual Bouquets to Art program, which is where they have floral designers create big, beautiful bouquet artworks that are representative of other artworks in the museum. One of my favorite pieces were these fashion pieces that were created by local floral apprentices. One of the very sunny days here this week and take myself out to a beautiful park in San Francisco called Glen Park Canyon. Like I said, I grabbed lunch at a local mom and pop deli, headed on over to this park, found myself a bench, and grabbed this creativity book I'm working my way through. This exercise that I chose to do was all about drawing some images, some objects, some spaces, and then to intentionally destroy them. This book is very much about, please destroy me, don't think of me as a precious object. So I'm following the prompt, which was, again, just to create different sort of shapes on the page and then to destroy it, in this case with water. I was then supposed to let it dry and see what aspects the book and my drawings then took on. Not too hard on such a beautiful, warm, sunny day. So I'm so glad that I took myself out to this park on this day. Had a beautiful walk around, even got to see a local plaque. You gotta love a good plaque, you know? week, as you saw. I think it all comes back to another learning point. I have learned and really have to take to heart the fact that not all creative projects, maybe even most creative projects, they're not going to turn out the way I hope. They're not going to turn out well. And I have to be okay with that. I have to remember it is about the process. It's about being creative, not necessarily the end object or, you know, the outcome. Although that would be lovely, and maybe some of the things I do make will make me happy and turn out great, and that'll be wonderful. But I do think the main lesson for me is that I have to learn to be okay with things not going to plan. So yeah, so I hope you enjoyed coming out and about with me this week. If you want to stick around for more adventures in finding my creativity, definitely subscribe. Let me know in the comments what project you think I should try that maybe will come out, you know, well and good the first time. But yeah, I hope you stick around. I hope you follow along. And until I see you again, stay creative, stay crafty, enjoy the week, and I'll see you soon.